35 years ago, Kenyans hit the street for the Sabasaba protest, July 7th, 1990, demanding for a multi-party democracy.
And liberation songs filling the air were the scenes on Nairobi streets on the 7th of July, 1990.
Today, a new generation is back outside. Unlike back in the days, fear was in the air. This time round, it looks like fear is the driving motive. In 1990, names like Matiba, they shook the KANU one-party rule. Right now, it is a totally different ball game. But are they applying the same strategy that they applied back then? As always, the strategy is divide and rule.
We don't care what your religion is. We don't care what organization you belong to. We don't care how far in school you went or didn't go. We don't care what kind of job you have. We have to give you credit.
Welcome back, manze, to the Radar Files. I am your host, Kamakawa. Yo, Fraje! Manze, it is the bitter things in life that matter. And on today's bitter thing,
there are 15 people who manage. They have serious followers. Are you getting me? I can tell you some of them.
Yes.
Go and check. Go and check at Hani Fasafi. Go and check at Boniface Mwangi. Go and check at Sinya Kundi. Go and check at Kamuzi. Go and check at Amirex. Go and check at F. Gaido, at Oduk, at Soko Analyst, at Wangeshi, at W. Mtunga, at Edwin Sufina, at Asamo, at Benjandolo, at Propasa, and at Menhed Thakar. These are the 15 handlers that manage, and none of them is a Gen Z.
Charles Owino claims that the people who are organizing these forms of protest, they are not Gen Zs, but are they the one who are going to benefit of this protest? Are they the ones who will benefit? That's the big question. Or will the whole country benefit? Is the democracy that you have been enjoying ever since that time of 1990, tuseme tu kutoka 2002, because that's when Moi alisonga kiasi. Do you think that those protests are 1990, did they serve to help those people, or did they serve to help the general public? Who do you think it served? Juu hapa hivi, he's trying to use the divide and conquer. Or, on the other side, we can also think of it differently. In our households, you know, if you have multiple siblings, you know there's this thing inakuanga na big brother, small brother, big sister, small sister. Izo dynamics. Sometimes it is the younger child that is sent towards the parents so that change might happen. And some of these times, the younger child is the one who gets to be abused kwa sababu anaonekana wewe uko na kiburi, sasa wewe ndio tutanyorosha. Kumbe hii idea imetoka from somebody older, and the younger person was just being used to be tested. The political world is a very dangerous world. It's a very weird world. It is ikona so many potholes and loopholes that might help you or even destroy you. In this situation, who do you think is benefiting?
The amount of ignorance that I've seen around Sabasaba on this platform is actually quite alarming. Some of you fail to realize the reason why we enjoy the democracy we do today in Kenya is because of Sabasaba. That's why we have freedom of assembly and speech, the right to dissent, and the collective action to call political leaders to accountability. If it was not for Sabasaba, if that day did not happen, we would not have the freedoms that we have today. So yes, I know we are angry and we feel like 25th June should have symbolized everything, but 25th June is actually just a baby of Saba Saba. Yes, we have to call out the previous generations for the wrongs that they have done, but we also have to appreciate the good and acknowledge it instead of coming here and airing out our ignorance. Saba Saba is very key to Kenya's history and the democracy we enjoy today. So before you come onto this platform and air out your ignorance, please go and read and study your history.
So, Saba Saba, where did it come from? It looks like it came from the wind of democracy during that time, because there were a lot of countries zenye zilikuwa zina implement changes in their governments, and it was a period where even our neighbors over here, Tanzania, they acknowledged that same time when things were a little bit they were taking shifts. We might be living in that same moment. So she's claiming that hizi shughuli zote zenye tunafanya hapa hivi, hizi za protest, they are not for our benefit, they are for the benefit of our future generations. If you think about it, if you are somebody who thinks about your future, then the choices that are being made at this moment, you know, they are the ones that usually matter the most. And if the choices do not align with the future you are envisioning for your future family, juu at this point sidhani country yetu imefika kwenye kukona that big divide between men and women, because I made a video previously and someone was telling me that men and women cannot be friends, and I was like, what the fuck do you mean men and women cannot be friends? You have been so fucking westernized that unakuja unaanza kuspew the same knowledge yenye inatoka huko hivyo in the West. Think about it. Men and women can be friends. Maturity is the biggest issue in this. Anyway, hiyo haikuwa shughuli ya maturity and nini. The point I wanted to drive home ni, whenever we are doing something, it is not for ourselves only. It is for the future. And when you start alienating yourself from other people and start saying that, oh, men and women cannot be friends, oh, this one is coming from this point of view and not this other point of view, you start segregating people. And segregation is how we were colonized. Segregation is how they continue to rule and express themselves. I know this kind of venye na rant hapa hivi inaweza kuwa also, I might be programmed. Who knows? I might be also be programmed. You might also be programmed. Jew, if we think about it, someone always has to benefit out of all of this.
Ruto emerged out of KANU Youth 92. KANU Youth 92 was a response to the Wile Mutungas. The Wile Mutungas, Chris Murungaru, the other guy, the guy who became governor eventually, Kiraitu Murungi, Kitoko Imanyara, all of these guys emerge out of a process. So it may be leaderless now, and in the sense in which it is, it may not evolve the vehicle that changes the government, but it will produce a leadership cohort of people who have come through the fire and understand what it means, but are also become the beacons of this thinking that is shaping now out of this process.
They say that strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. This guy is saying that whatever we are going through, because we are all going through it, it is like we are passing through the fire so that we may forge the future. Nanpata? Even ndo mimi nimemwelewa. And he has given a very critical point. In 1992, hapo hivyo kwenye amesema, where Ruto came from, in that particular youth group. So this guy was already in politics time yenye the late Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, our president, he was engineering how he was going to secure power from 1990 hadi in short, for the next decade, he was engineering how he's going to get power. And the major student who got into that period in politics, vizuri kabisa, it is who? It is now our excellency, Ruto. Unamcheki hapo hivyo? This guy has played that game from that time up to this time. Do you think he has none of the knowledge that applied back then in this period? Hii ndio ile ukinusa hivi unasikia kuna nuka. What do you smell? I smell change. What do you smell? I smell change.
The whole world saw what we saw last week, right? They are frightened. Now, they did not anticipate it. So it'll be interesting to see how they believe they are going to manage this particular revolution.
You cannot make a conducive environment for us to get jobs. You can't educate our children. You can't put enough food on the table. And because we're bringing up those issues, rather than solve the problem because there is a personal interest there, you're going to shoot us to keep us quiet?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because what choices do they have by solving the problem? You have two choices. You default or you say, I'm not paying it. Our position is that it is odious debt, which means that it is illegal debt.
What?
That we should not be paying. As far as I'm concerned, that debt, we have no debt in this country. So that 70 shillings of every 100 should be wiped out. And I would wipe it out like yesterday. Right? But what is the consequence of these people? And William Samoei Ruto is one of them. He was part of creating.
Think about it. What are the consequences of not paying that money and agree or deciding to cut off ourselves from the people who gave us the debts? What will be the consequences? Do you think the country will be stable?
That odious debt. He was in the government of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And they created that odious debt. In fact, William Samoei Ruto was the one given in the sharing of power the docket of finance. I know because I'm the one who did the MOU. His docket of finance. Rotich was his recommended appointee. So they know what they did. The minute you stop paying that debt, the creditors of that debt will look for them. The country will ask, why have we been paying that debt? We want whatever we paid to come back. What happens? They won't do it. So what is the other consequence? If you default, the economic ramifications that come out of a default will be much worse than you're talking today. They think they have stabilized the shilling, yet there's still economic pain. But I can tell you, default would mean the shilling is probably about 300-400 shillings to the dollar. All right? Everyone is saying life would literally come to a standstill.
Wow.
And that is more frightening than what they're currently doing. So, you say, postpone the problem. Sweep the problem under the rug. And if people come out, try and politicize it. Try and say, it's not about pain, it's political this, or it's tribe this, or it's that person, or it's this, or it's that. And hope that it's, I believe, after last year, they believed it was over. Okay? Now it has come back. I want you to imagine it to 2027. That every single June 25th will be celebrated this way. Are we agreed, Wanokari?
Yes.
So in 2027, which is the so-called targeted election, we have, my deputy has a case in court trying to make sure that the Supreme Court adheres to what is in the Constitution.
Yeah.
But let us even say it's 2027. June 25th falls within the 3-month campaign period to the election. I want you to imagine these demonstrations during campaign time. All right? 2 months to the election. This government has no chance of surviving. All right?
Sheesh.
It will probably react the same way if that's how they react, killing people, right? And they'll brandish it, God knows what. They may even try to create a state of emergency or something of the sort. But at the end of the day, right, they will not be able to stay in power. So what some of us are asking is, why wait until then? You can't solve the problem. All you want to do is turn Kenya into killing fields, right? Killing young people, killing our future generations, right? You're doing so economically. Now you're doing so with the gun. Why are you in power? Watch William Ruto talk last week. That man is frightened. He is frightened. Okay? This system is frightened.
Huh? That is crazy. Back then, people were actually fighting for something known as multi-party democracy. This time, it looks like we are fighting for our future just because of a debt. A debt that is placed upon our shoulders by some oligarchs that are willing to control this country by sweeping the real issue under the rug, by claiming certain political strategies, by claiming certain political statements so that they may get the upper hand. That is what Jimmy is saying. What do you think? Do you think this is just another protest? Do you think it will continue the way he has said towards 2027? Do you think he might be playing the same game that we are seeing politicians play with our minds? Let me know what you think. Sabasaba has now evolved. New software, same old soul. The soul is asking for change. YouTube thinks you might be interested in the video on your screen at the moment. Click on that video. I'm waiting to see you on the next one.